Yzerman, what balls? Seriously, I don't know what's going on.
Me neither.
I'm not sure what's going on.
I have no idea what they're doing.
There's only one thing that I know. In Toronto, in Detroit, in Chicago, 20% off, free shipping, Manscaped with the promo code Dangle. It's international, okay? Go to manscaped.com for the Beard and Balls bundle, and you got to have some balls to operate like Steve Yzerman, man. Petr Mrazek, you're officially a Detroit Red Wing? Why?
Again.
Again. The team that drafted him in 2010.
Why though? Said everybody. Now, Joe Veleno and Craig, so it's Petr Mrazek and Craig Smith to Detroit for Joe Veleno. Let's focus first on the fact that today was a bad day for Yzerman without him having to make a move with the Jake Wallman trade. That didn't look so great, right? So now, why Petr Mrazek to Detroit? I mean, I know they're in a playoff hunt, but is that what it is?
Well, Chicago's end of this makes perfect sense.
Okay.
They have too many goalies. They have Laurent Brossoit, who has barely played for them since signing because of injury. They had Petr Mrazek. They got Spencer Knight, who's had a pretty good start. And who am I missing? Oh, Arvid Soderblom.
Yeah. Who's big?
I mean, dude, they got to get rid of two of those guys. And this is how it starts.
And you said Brossoit barely played for them. He hasn't played for them.
Oh.
He got injured
Well,
back
that's barely.
He got injured back in August, and he's getting ready to make his debut.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But Mrazek has term. Like he's under contract next season. $4.25 million. Is there retention?
Not that I've seen.
No.
So you just traded for a goalie who makes $4.25 million, who in 33 games this season. Listen, last year he was heroic.
To read the stats.
Last year in Chicago, 18-31-4, which is horrible, but the Blackhawks were horrible around him, and he had a 9.08, which was pretty good, and that's how he got the $4.25 million contract. This year he's an 8.90, which is actually worst on the Blackhawks. I don't count Drew Camesso. I'm not going to count Spencer Knight on account of he just got there. But like Arvid Soderblom is clearly the better option there with a 904 save percentage. And the Blackhawks had too many goalies. They traded him to a team who also has too many goalies. Like, it's weird. It's like it's an obvious cap dump for Chicago because they get Joe Veleno. Joe Veleno, while only being 25, that's great. You know, I believe he's a former first-round pick. Dude has 10 points this year, right? Like, I don't
Signed
know.
an extension, I believe, last year, if I'm not mistaken. And so, he's making 2.275.
Oh, good. Great.
So there's a little bit of cap moving.
Okay,
too.
so the trade makes a little more sense then.
Right.
Because he serves no purpose.
He had 28 points in 80 games last year, so that was an expensive deal, and he's only got 10 points in 56.
Yeah, okay. So that makes a little bit more sense for me, why Detroit wouldn't want him. I still don't think they need Petr Mrazek at all, and it's not even necessarily because he's bad. I was like, oh, is Cam Talbot's contract up? No, it's not. He
Spent through next season, yeah.
He's
Alex Lyon is, though.
Alex Lyon's coming off the books. Okay, great. But Cam Talbot makes way less than
2.5.
Petr Mrazek. Thank you, 2.5. But they also have Sebastian Casa, who's their goalie of the future. He's only 22. I can understand wanting to protect him, and you could try to look at it this way. Mrazek makes 4.25, but you're ditching Joe Veleno, so you can almost look at it as like salary retention sort of thing. So you're getting Mrazek for something like half the cost.
Yeah, because you dump salary the other way. Yeah.
And then you could even though you're spending $6.5-7 million on goaltending because you get rid of Veleno, you could look at it as spending roughly $5 million on goaltending. I'm starting to see the logic there.
I think you walked into the reasoning. Yzerman thinks Mrazek is better than we think he is.
Yep.
And they dump the salary and you're bringing back a $4 million goaltender, which is essentially the $2 million goaltender because you dumped the salary, and you have now your tandem for next season because I assume they're not going to bring back Alex Lyon. Remember, Ville Husso was waived. He was goaltender for
went to
Detroit
the Ducks
for a while, and then they got rid of him. So the goaltender room got a little thinner there with just Talbot and Lyon. So then they bring in Mrazek, and they clearly have faith that Mrazek is better than we think.
And there's still time for them to make moves today.
Yes.
I kind of wonder if they're gonna. It's still, I don't know. I don't love the deal for Detroit.
No.
I understand the reasoning. And now I don't even love the deal as much for Chicago, but
Right.
like they needed to get rid of a goalie and they did, so hooray.
And
the odds of Veleno being useful for you are probably greater than Mrazek.
The Boursois, I said he's working his way back. The latest update from 20 hours ago, actually, from Ben Pope of writer in Chicago, was that he's not going to play this season. That they're just going to scrap it. His knee injury, and he's just going to be out for the whole year. So with the Spencer Knight addition, I guess that's the big thing that they said. We brought in Spencer Knight, $4.5 million. Let's just get rid of Mrazek. We don't need him at all, and we'll take on this salary. Now we're going to run with Spencer Knight and Soderblom.
Okay, so you're now a rebuilding team with a goalie tandem that is 23 and 25. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense for Chicago. And like, it's not your typical 23 and 25-year-old tandem. Soderblom has played 30 games this season. He played 32 last year. He's played 80 career games. And Spencer Knight is at 81, right? So
Boursois signed through next season. So like it'll be a three goalie room.
So that's actually interesting. They got some. That's going to be an interesting offseason in net for Chicago. I'm talking myself into this weird little trade being interesting.
I think you nailed the explanation on why Detroit would do it. But
I had no idea Veleno was making that much.
Now that we know why they did it, I still don't agree with doing it.
Yeah, does it help Detroit get to the playoff, guys?
Detroit?
That's what I'm like, okay, I understand it. I don't agree with your general managing.
Right.
I think that's a bad move.
What does this do to really help them get to the playoffs?
Exactly.
I'm trying to look up Alex Lyon's last few games in net because I feel like he got lit up. No, it wasn't really that bad. He's only lost his last 2 games. I listen, Steve Yzerman is a befuddling GM. He doesn't always do stuff that's like bad. But I would say maybe more than any other GM in the league does stuff where I'm like, why did you do that?
What was the purpose?
He doesn't believe in Lyon and Talbot, and he believes in Mrazek.
Talbot was an all-star last year, and he's better than Mrazek.
No. Do I believe in Talbot and Lyon over him? Yes, probably. Yes.
The other thing with Talbot is he's 38, and you're betting on Mrazek, who's not 38.
But you're protecting yourself for next season when your job should have been to make the playoffs like sometime in the last 5 years. You should have already done this, and now you're going to miss the playoffs again.
He's so good at doing an abundance of nothing. There's so much nothing to go around.
Yeah. And remember, how many? I think they went into training camp with 7 signed goalies too. Remember? Yeah. It was like Lyon and Reimer and Talbot and all these other guys.
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell. Yeah. It's crazy. Anyway, not understanding totally what the Detroit Red Wings are doing, but you know what, Red Wings fans, if you are still on board with the Yzer plan, you can explain it to us, right? You guys, you'd be like, you're so stupid, you don't understand. All right.
Oh,
that's usually how it goes. Okay. Anyway,
where do you land on this, Adam?
Why do they sound like they're from California?
I land on it being deck chairs on the Titanic. I don't see the direction here, and I haven't understood Detroit's direction for several years now. It seems like at some point
they could make the playoffs.
Management went to them and said, "Listen, you better start spending, and you better start making the playoffs now." Because we have this brand new arena we've never seen a playoff game in, and this is getting outrageous. We're talking about 10 years. These are the Red Wings, and I think when you look at some of the signings they've made, the Justin Hall signing, the Tarasenko signing, like some of these signings have been really, really bad, and they feel rushed, and that's why I just don't get the direction of the Red Wings.
Adam. Craig Smith, who is also in this deal. I'd be remiss if I.
We should mention Craig Smith.
The last time he had 50 or more points, he's only done it twice in his career. He had 51 points and 25 goals with Nashville in the 2017-18 season. How many career NHL games has Craig Smith played? Craig Smith, 50 points twice. Forward.
250.
250? Jesse? He's 35.
Oh,
Craig-
probably more than that.
Probably they're like 1,000, like 800 or 900 games.
968.
Wow.
With 83 playoff appearances.
He could get the stick.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's almost there. Like
Wow.
Justin Bourne years and years ago had this bit. I think it was like about the all-time guy team.
Craig Smith would be on the
All-time guy. Producer Hayden threw out RJ Umberger. I thought that was a
that's
crazy
a good
poll.
one. Yeah.
I would like to submit Radim Verbata. I think Radim Verbata, all-time guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, our trade deadline is basically, as of this recording, 11 minutes away. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be real busy next hour.